Okay, so let's get started. We've got some past paper questions. The first one, we can see we are comparing a cylindrical shape versus a rectangular shape. So Quincy is a florist and uses the vases below for her flower arrangements. Table 1 below shows the diagram of two vases. Both vases have a solid glass base of 1 centimeter in height. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple of seconds to just look at all the information being given to you. So we have option 1 and option 2. So we've seen questions like this before. Okay, I think standout information in this question is that there is a 1 centimeter base that they have mentioned. And we've seen it with vases or glasses before. There's always like a thick bottom of that glass or a vase. Okay, now they're telling us that that is 1 centimeter high or thick. Okay. So let's get started with a question. The first question says, determine the height of water in the cylindrical vase or vase if the vase is filled to 80% of its capacity. So important things to note here is we are looking for the height of the water and specifically in the cylindrical vase. If it is only filled up to 80% of its capacity. Does anyone have an idea of how we could start working this out? Anybody? So if we had to pretend, Cabo, yes, let's hear from you.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I think you have to say, you first have to find out the volume of the glass.
The volume.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Do you think we need to do that much in-depth calculations for this?
No, so I'm saying like you.
Okay. No.
No, I don't know actually.
You can do volume 1, but it's more complicated, but it's possible, but it's for 3 marks. So do you think you want to work out the volume of the full?
Yeah, and then you'd work it, you'd substitute all the measurements and then get the height on its own, I think.
Height on its own. Okay. But to get height on its own, we need to know, I suppose the volume first. Because if we look no, but don't stress. So it's possible to do it that way, but it's going to involve like 2 longish calculations, and it's only for 3 marks. So let's just like look at the height specifically, right? So let's say, for example, our water, because now it's not filled all the way to the top. So let's say the water is by this line over here. How would I work out just this height? Do we have the height of the vase or vase?
No.
Vase.
Yes, you do.
We do. So could we use that height to maybe help us?
Yeah.
Do you want to give it a try?
I think so you work out the volume of a cylinder, and then I think so. I'm not sure actually.
Okay, no worries. Okay, I want to steer away from the volume calculation because it's just going to be a complicated way of doing it when we don't have to think too deep into it. Okay, so I'm going to steer away from that, and then I'm going to maybe drop a few more hints, and then maybe If it clicks, you can help me out from there onwards.
Okay.
Okay, but thanks so much for, yeah. Okay, guys, so thank you, Khabo. It is one way of doing it, but I don't want us to get into deep calculation, long calculation, and we only focused on a 3-mark question. Okay, so my clue to you is that from the top of the vase all the way to the bottom is 15 centimeters. They have mentioned that the bottom of this vase is 1 centimeter thick. So in essence, the water can only, if it's full to its maximum capacity, it could be from the top of the glass all the way to the start of that thick base. How high is the vase in essence? How high could the water possibly be if it's full to the max? Can it be 15 centimeters? $14, yes, I'm seeing all these answers coming through. Good. Okay, so a good starting point is that the water can't be 15 centimeters high. We have to minus the base. So the height of the water, so we're not looking at the volume of the water, we're looking for the height of the water. Okay, so when it's 100% full, it can be a max of 14 centimeters high. Okay, but now the water is not at 100%. So how could we work out the height of it if it's only 80% full? So if we go in from this line roughly, so in between here and the base, let's pretend that represents 80%. How would we work out the height of this water? We work out 80% of 14 centimeters, right? Okay, so to work out the height of our water, I'm going to say 14 centimeters times by 80%, which gives me a height of 11,2 centimeters. Nice, Leonie. See, you got that in the chat. Okay, so this was, I think it's quite a difficult question because we're not normally asked the height of water without knowing the volume of the vase normally. Okay, do we have any questions with regards to this first question? Does it make sense what we have done? So we had to take the base into account. So we minus the base out of the height of the vase. And we're left with 14 centimeters. So that's the height of the vase without the base. And then we had to work out the height of water if it was only filled to 80%. So it wasn't filled all the way. So that's why I took 80% times by 14 centimeters. Okay. I see that I've been asked to explain again. And 100%, guys, it's not an easy question. So please don't stress. All right, so we're looking at our vase, okay? So from the top of the vase all the way to the bottom, it is 15 centimeters, okay? But we're not worried about the vase. We're worried about water inside this vase. However, they've told us that the bottom of this vase is always a thick piece of glass at the bottom is 1 centimeter. Now, water can't get into that base. So in essence, the water can only be 14 centimeters high if it's filled right to the brim of the vase, okay? So if I'm going from the top all the way to the top of that base, that gives me my 15 minus 1, which is 14 centimeters. So the water can only be a maximum of 14 centimeters because we have to take that base out of the situation. Okay, So if my vase was filled all the way to the top, it could have a height of 14 centimeters. But they told us in this instance, it's only 80% full. So it's not filled all the way to the top. It's filled roughly to there. So to work out that height, I would have to times by 80%. So I take my 14 centimeters and I times by 80%, which is the step over here, because it's not filled all the way. It's only 80% full. So to work out 80% of the 14, you get 11,2. So the height of the water in this scenario is 11,2 centimeters. Okay. It was quite a question to start with. Do we have any other questions regarding this one, or does it make a bit more sense now? Leisure, refill way. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So guys, that was one of the harder questions for tonight, so please don't stress. Okay. It was a little bit weird because they've included a base in the situation that asks us for the height of the water. It's not a question we normally used to. Okay. Now it says, how do we have, okay, I see here's answer to that question. Quincy stated that option 2 has exactly 2 times the capacity of option 1. Verify with calculations if her statement is correct. So we're verifying if option 2 is exactly 2 times the capacity of option 1, and they've given us some formulas. So we know that volume of a rectangle is length times breadth times height, and the volume of a cylinder is our pi r squared times height. Okay, so let's just quickly remind ourselves. Option 1 is our cylindrical vase. I'm just going to put it here. And option 2 is our rectangular vase. Okay, so we want to see that basically is the rectangular one, can it hold double the amount of the cylindrical one? So I'm going to go back up so you can see all the dimensions and also show the formulas at the same time. Okay, please let me know if you cannot see and I need to zoom out again. What do you think our first step would be? You don't have to answer the question. What do you think the starting point would be in this question? What are we going to work out first? Ben says option 1. Cool. So that means you're going to work out the volume of the cylinder. Good. And we also need to work out the volume of option 2, the rectangular vase. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to quickly do that by yourselves. I want you to work out the volume of each vase for me, please. Formulas are given and they've given you all the dimensions necessary. Does anyone want to unmute and tell me how they worked out the volume of the rectangular vase? The nice, easy one. Ben. Hi, Ben. Hi. Okay, so how did you work out the volume of the rectangular vase?
I said 9 times 4,75 times 15, which equals to 641,25.
641,25. Perfect. Don't forget the unit, centimeters cubed. Awesome. Thank you, Ben. Nice to hear from you.
You're welcome.
Fantastic job. Okay, and who wants to help me with the calculation of the volume of the cylindrical vase?
I see Fatima has an answer in the chat. I don't know if they would be keen to talk to us. And then Refugio is just asking you to please go up a bit.
That, I'm assuming. Anybody want to tell me how? Yeah.
Sorry. I just wanted to say, Refugio, if maybe you could take a screenshot. Then you'll let us know if you got everything that you needed.
Okay, so we've got the volume of the one vase, the rectangular one, which is option 2. Okay, I just want to put that here. Option 2. Awesome. Okay, Ben, I see you got the answer. Any chance you want to tell us how you did that? Awesome.
Just check your screen for a message. There we go.
I said 3,142 times by 2,65 squared times by 15.
Times by 15. Perfect. And what was your answer?
330,97 centimeters cubed.
Perfect. Well done. Thanks so much, Ben. And okay, so before I get to the next thing, is everyone okay up until this point? All we did now was use the formulas that they gave us, and we just plugged in all the dimensions that was given to us in the diagram. So nothing too complicated here, right? Okay, all we did was just take the formulas and work it out. Put it in our calculator, and you should have gotten these answers. Okay, but now are we finished answering this question? No. Okay, cool. We're not finished. We need to verify the statement. Now, if we have a look at the statement again, Quincy stated that option 2 has exactly 2 times the capacity of option 1. So how can we check if it's exactly double the cylinder? We can definitely see the rectangle. Looks like it's close to double compared to the cylinder, but how could we show that with a bit of a calculation? There's various ways. Does anyone want to try? Tell me. We can times the cylinder by 2. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. So I can take this answer and times by 2 to see if it's going to give me that. So if I say 330,97 times by 2, that will give me 661,94 centimeters cubed. Thanks, Itumeleng, nice, and Fatima as well. Thank you for that. Okay, so this is one way of checking, is it double? Okay, so as we can see, if we had to double the volume of the cylinder, it does not give us exactly 641. So therefore we could say, no, the statement is correct. It's not exactly 2 times the size or double the capacity. Alternatively, another way you could have done it is you could have taken this amount. Don't know why I got the highlighter out there. Sorry, you could have taken this amount and divided by 2, and that would have also proved that it's not exactly double. So you could take the bigger amount, divide by 2 to see if it gives you 330, or we take our smaller one and times by 2. But at the end of the day, it will prove that option 2 is not exactly was the key word there. If they said roughly double, then maybe we could have said it's true. Exactly double the capacity. And then we say therefore statement is incorrect. Okay, and a question like this is for 7 marks. So just to show you roughly where you would get a mark, it's 2 marks for working out the volume of each vase. So you're working out your answer, working out answer. Then doing your calculation, whether you times by 2 or divided by 2 to get the answer, and then stating that the statement is incorrect. That's where the 7 marks would be allocated. Do we feel a little bit better after this question? Please let me know in the chat. I know the first one was quite a shock to the system. Do we feel better? How do we feel about that question? If you got that in your exam, how would you feel? Okay, so you guys feel a lot better. Enjoyed this question. Me too. This was probably my favorite one so far. Awesome. Okay, so before we move on, please let me know if you have a question regarding question 2. Okay. So we are moving on from the vase question. Okay, it's a very common topic to compare cylindrical shape versus a rectangular shape and working out the volume and sometimes surface area as well. Okay, but as you can see, for the most part, the formulas are always given to you and they're generally quite easy questions. Okay, so the next question involves a cylindrical shape again, and it is going to lean into a models type question. Okay, so brand new question. We're looking at a can of, oh, yes. Quickly check.
Kamkhelo, just look for a message on your screen that's going to ask you to unmute.
Is it Kamkhelo?
Yes.
You
Or
there,
maybe they
Kamkhelo?
raised up their hands by mistake.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys, so the next question below is a picture of a cylindrically shaped 400-gram can of fish. The can is fully covered by a label with dimensions as shown in the picture. Okay, this is also a very common type of question with labels around a can. Okay, So they've given us a picture of the can. They've told us the diameter. Our 73 millimeters on the side is our diameter because it's from one edge of the circle to the other. They've given us the height of the can. Okay, and they've also just summarized it on the side for us as well. They've also given us some formula. They said circumference of a circle is diameter times pi. Surface area of the label around the can equals circumference times height. Okay. Just before we move on, I just want to also highlight that this is important information, that the can weighs 400 grams. That will lead into a question later on. Okay, so we've got our 2 dimensions, and question A says calculate in centimeters squared the surface area of the label around the can. Okay, so we are working out the surface area of the label around the can. Surface area being the keyword. Now, if we look at our surface area formula, it says circumference times height. So can we actually start with that formula straight away? No, okay, because we need circumference. They haven't given us circumference. However, luckily they gave us a circumference formula. So the first step is to work out the circumference. Okay, so that is my hint to you guys. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to quickly work out circumference as well as surface area. Let me know if you have any questions. Check that your answer is in centimeters squared. Okay, guys, so as discussed, the first step was to work out the circumference. Does anyone want to unmute and let me know how they calculated the circumference? Ben. Phil, you can help with the next one. I saw your hand come up.
To calculate the circumference,
Mhm.
I stayed, first I converted the diameter because it was in millimeters. I
Good.
divided it by 7.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show that on the side here. Guys, please show your conversion. You'll get a conversion mark, okay? So show it somewhere. You can do it within the main sum if you want to, or on the side. So I'm just going to show it on the side here. We are converting to centimeters already because they want the answer in centimeters squared. Okay, good, Ben. Good first starts. And then?
And then I said 7,3 times by 3,142.
2, yeah.
And it gave me 22,937.
937, cool. Like that you're keeping most of the decimals. Good. Okay, so we've got our circumference. Awesome. Thanks, Ben. Who wants to help now with the surface area of the label? Philo? You maybe? I saw you put your hand up. Any chance you want to help with surface area of label? Or anyone else?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
So for the surface area,
Uh-huh.
you say circumference times
Mhm.
height.
Circumference times height.
So yeah,
Mhm.
the circumference is 22,93
7, yeah.
times 10,6, which is height.
Okay, good. And they're both in centimeters, so we don't have to worry there.
Centimeters squared.
Okay, what was your final answer?
centimeters? Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to
So
just remind
then,
everyone to just check before you times it, make sure it's all the same unit. It is the same unit, so we can just carry on. And then what was your answer?
2,437,258.
243, comma
7,25. 243,25.
I just want to quickly check your decimals. Did you say in your working out for circumference 22,937, or did you say 22,93?
22,93.
Okay, so there already, so if I go back to my circumference calculation over here, if you are going to round to 2 decimal places, I would recommend only rounding right at the end. But if you did round to 2 decimal places, it actually would have been 22,94 then.
Okay.
But my
So
recommendation,
then
keep all those decimals because you're going to need them here because it's going to affect your decimals in your final answer.
okay. The
Mhm.
final answer is 243,13 centimeters squared.
Perfect. So 0.13 centimeters squared. So you see how important it is to round properly
Yes.
so we don't get the wrong decimals at the end. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. Really good work. Okay, and I can see in the chat, a lot of you also said the same answer, so well done. Okay, amazing work. Now, I just want to quickly reiterate something here. If I had to cut the label off, so if I had to just cut a line down and peel that label off, what shape do I get if I flatten that label? If I peel the label off and flatten it, what shape do I get? A rectangle, exactly. So if I peel the label off and I flatten it, I'll get a really long rectangle. So can we agree that actually over here, we worked out length times width or length times height, length being this side, which was my circumference. Because remember, circumference, when my label is around the can, it is a circle. and that is the distance from here all the way around. That is my circumference, but now I've flattened it. That becomes my length, and this could be seen as the height or the width. So we basically worked out the area of a rectangle if all else fails. Okay, so that is important information to maybe keep in mind for the next question. So the next question says, determine the total length of a label if an overlap of 0.6 centimeters is needed for it to be glued around the can. So we've got our label, but we're going to add a little bit extra so we can add glue and let it stick onto the label. How do you think we would do this? Determine the total length of the label. Okay. So when I look at the can from above, I got a circle and my label goes around perfectly like that. Okay. But now I'm peel the label off. So imagine that circle now has been peeled off and I'm left with this shape. So my length is the same as my circumference. Okay. Because remember the distance around the can is my circumference, but now I've opened up the can and flattened it. So my length is the same as my circumference. Okay, my circumference is 22,9. Let's keep all the decimals, 937 centimeters. So that is the length of my label, because now I've taken it apart and I've flattened it. My circumference is my length. Now, they've mentioned in this question, they're going to add an overlap. So add an extra piece onto this label, because that's where we will put the glue on to stick our label around the can. This little piece is going to be 0.6 centimeters. So that's what they've explained in this question. And they want to know now, what would the full length be of this label now that we've added an overlap? What do you guys think it's going to be? Nice, Emily. Cabo, yes, good. Somalize, yes. Catlejo, excellent. Okay, so just to explain what I've done here, to get my total length, I took my circumference and added the overlap. Okay, so circumference was 22,937 centimeters plus my overlap. And that gives me a total length of 23, 536. And now, because it's our final answer, we can round to 2 decimal places, 23,54 centimeters. It's just the length, so we don't square it or cube it. Camogelo, no, we don't need to times it by 2. Why do you think we would times it by 2? What is your train of thought there? We would times by 2 if we wanted to work out the perimeter of the whole label. So we'd take the top length plus the bottom length. Then we could times by 2. But for now, we just want to know what is the full length from one end of the rectangle to the other end, including the overlap. Okay. Are you guys understanding the fact that when I take the label off, my circumference now becomes the length of a rectangle? So I'm flattening the circle. So I'm taking the circle apart, and my circumference now flattens out into the length of my rectangle. Does that make sense? Do we have any questions regarding this label? Okay, no questions. Awesome. Okay, guys, not too badly done either with that one. Again, very common question they love. I've seen it in a lot of exams, cans and labels around them, and it's always the same thing. There's always something to do with an overlap. They always ask you to work out the length, or they might ask you to work out the area of this label. So now you know what the length is, and you can just times it by the width or the height. Okay, so that's also a common question. Okay, so you'll see with the more past papers you practice, cylinders, they love labels, label questions. Okay, so still looking at these cans, we're now moving on to a more models type question. Remember, models is all about packaging. So they say some of the cans of fish are imported by ship. The cans of fish are wrapped in packs of 12. So now they've shown us how they wrap these cans. It's 4 by 3, and they show us the shipping crate that they pack these cans into. Okay, they then mention the dimensions of a pack of 12 cans. So if I had to look at this picture specifically, and this information over here, this is a different color, they are saying that my length is 29,2. So that means this side is 29,2 centimeters. And then the width is 21. So on this side, it's 21,9. And our height is 10,8 centimeters. Okay, so that's important because now, as you can see, if I compare the length here versus the length of my crate, you can see I can actually fit quite a few of these packs along the length. Okay, so I just want to bring that to your attention. So we've looked at the dimensions of the packs. They tell you that the mass of an empty can is 40 grams. The mass of a fully packed shipping crate with the cans of fish is 280 kgs. They've mentioned the inner dimensions of a shipping crate are 117 centimeters by 66 by 50, but we can see that in our picture already. And packs of cans are placed lengthwise, so length to length in the shipping crates. Okay, so it's quite a lot of information there. Aggie stated that an empty shipping crate has a mass of less than 20 kgs. Verify with calculations if her statement is valid. Okay, so there's a lot to work out. As you can see, it's a 9-mark question. So before I can worry about how much the crate weighs, what do you think the first thing is to work out? Any takers? So basically, guys, what this question is asking, if I put all the packs of cans into this crate, it is going to weigh 280 kilograms. but I want to find out what the crate itself just weighs. So we need to figure out what is the weight of the cans in the crate. Okay, Emmanuel, close. Before we can work out the weight of all the cans, I need to figure out how many cans are in this crate. Okay, so let's first look at yeah, it's a very loaded question. Let's work out how many cans in a crate. That's the first thing. So, Emmanuel, you wrote a question like this in your exam today. Yes, and I see you've raised your hand. Let's see. What do you have to tell us?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing quite well, especially after today's paper.
Good.
So,
did it go well?
ma'am, can I please attempt this? This will also give me an idea on what I can expect on my results.
Okay. Did you write? Did
No.
you have the exact same question?
No.
Oh, but similar.
Our question was, yeah, it was quite similar. It was on cat food, and then it was on a box, something like that. Yeah.
Okay,
but it was
perfect.
quite
So
similar.
tell me what you would do in this situation.
Please just scroll up just a bit, just a bit.
Sure.
Okay. So, ma'am, what I did now is, I took, because I see that we are given, I checked if we had the radius or the diameter, but I found out the diameter of one can, nah? And then, I see that our diameter here, where is it? Dimensions of a 12, but okay. Height. Ma'am, this question is phrased in another way. Because
I know
we were
it's phrased very. It's a bit confusing, the phrasing. Okay,
because
so can I lead you into where you should start? Would
Yes,
you be
please, ma'am.
able to? So we want to work out how many cans fit in the crate, right? So we know
Yes.
that it comes in a pack of 12. So we don't have to worry about diameter or anything in this scenario. Some of the models questions, yes, you do need to know. But we don't need to know the diameter because we know that our length, okay, of our 12 pack is 29.2 centimeters. So I want to see how many of those packs can fit along the length of my crate. So I'm comparing the length of my pack to the length of the crate. So I want to see how many packs fit into the length. Do you know how to work it? Yeah.
I have an idea. I think you're going
Okay.
to take the 117 centimeters and divide it by the 29.2 centimeters.
Perfect. That's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to take 117, the length of the crate, divide by the length of the pack, because now we can see how many packs then fit along the length. Yes. And have you worked it out?
Yes, ma'am. It's basically
Okay.
4.
Good. It's 4 packs.
4.006. Yes.
Yes. So 4
4
whole packs. Good. And then now we go and do the same for the width. We want to see how many packs fit along the width. So what are we going to do?
You're going to take the 66 centimeters and divide it by 21.9.
Good.
And it gives you 3 packs.
They are decimals, but we can only fit 3 full packs. So we round to the nearest whole number. Good.
And then the last one is the height, ma'am.
Good. Yes.
Which is, what you're going to do is you're going to take, and may I please just see on the picture over there? You're going to take the 50 centimeters and you will have to divide it by 10.8 centimeters.
Good.
Which is 4 packs also.
Good. Fantastic. So I don't want you to leave just yet. I just want to do a visual representation of this quickly for everyone. So guys, here is my crate. I'm looking at the top of my crate. We have just worked out that we can fit 4 packs along the length. 1, 2, 3, 4. We also worked out along the width. Okay, so it's not exactly accurate, but 1, 2, 3 fit along the width, and our height, we can have 4 layers. So how are we going to work out the total number of cans?
You go. Can I tell them now?
Yes, please do.
Press their bubble. What you can do is you should add all the packs together.
Should we
As
add
in
them?
Yes, ma'am. The packs for the length, width, and height.
Okay, but now if I add them, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 2, 3. That gives me 6 plus 4 for my layers, which is 10. But that doesn't give me what fills up the rest of the space. I want to know, because now we just worked out along the length, along the width. But there's a way that we can use these numbers to work out the rest of the box. What do we do? Not plus. Oh, I see Tumalings and Fatima has told us. Olabacheng also, and Ben. We are going to times these numbers. Emmanuel, does that make sense?
I'm following. Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry, yes.
No, that's fine. You had your light bulb moment. That's all that counts. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
how many packs fit into this crate?
That's 48 packs.
The 8 packs. Fantastic. Okay. Good, and I can see in the chat as well, you guys are letting me know what the answers are. Fantastic. So it looks like we're all on the same page when it comes to how many packs. Emmanuel, do you know what the next step is, or do you want to tap out for now?
Can we just say what the question is again?
Okay, so Aggie stated that an empty shipping crate has a mass of less than 20 kgs. We know what the mass is, including cans.
Mm-hmm.
So this 280 is the weight of our crate
Including cans.
plus weight of cans. And what the question is actually asking is, we want to know what is the weight of just the crate.
Ma'am, what I would do
Mhm.
is I would check how much one pack weighs, and then I'd multiply it by how many there are, which is 48. Meaning it's going to give me the separate weight of the cans altogether, or rather the packs altogether. Then I'll subtract that weight by, I'll take 200. Yeah, I'll subtract it by 280, and then that will give me the weight of the remaining answer will give me the weight of the crate.
That is amazing. Absolutely. Well done. Okay, so let's do that. And you guys are welcome to also share your thoughts in the chat as well. Okay, so Emmanuel has said, what is our next step, Emmanuel? What are we going to do? We're going to work out the weight of just the cans.
Yes, ma'am.
So of just the cans only. Okay, now this leads on from the previous question. So this is why I told you it's important. They are follow-on questions, but just because of the way it's set up, it looks a bit different. They told us 1 can is 400 grams. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. So 1 can, I'm just going to write over here, equals 400 grams. So how are we going to work out the weight of all the cans in this crate? You guys are welcome to also let us know in the chat. Emmanuel, let's hear it.
You're going to have to first determine how many cans there are in a single pack.
Which is? They tell us at the top here.
It is 12. It is 12. So you're going to take the what is it again? 400 grams and multiply it by 12.
400 grams times by 12 cans. Yeah.
Which gives you 4,800 grams. 4,800 grams, man.
4,800 grams. Fantastic. So that
And
is
then-
how much one pack weighs.
Yes, man.
Okay, cool. And then what do we do?
And then you're going to take that 4,800 grams and multiply it by 48 so that it can give you the how much it weighs in grams for 48.
Good. So because we worked out
packs.
there's 48 packs, we're now going to take the weight of one times by 48. And what do we get?
230,400.
Mm-hmm. Grams.
And then you're going to have to convert now.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversion, you divide by 1,000.
Good. So we're going from, because now remember, we need to, the question asks us to see if the empty shipping crate has a mass of 20 kgs. They've also mentioned that the weight, including cans and crate, is kg. So we want everything to be in kgs, otherwise we can't compare the two. All right, so we divide by 1,000, as Emmanuel said. And Emmanuel, what is that?
It's 230.40 kilograms.
Kilograms. Fantastic.
And then you're going to take that 230.4 kilograms and subtract it from 280 kilograms.
Okay, good. So guys, remember they told us that the weight of the crate plus the cans gives us 280. But we want to know what just the crate is. So if we have to take the cans out, how much does this crate weigh? So that is why we worked out the weight of the cans only. And as you can see, the cans is only 230. So to get the weight of the crate only, as Emmanuel has said, we take 280 kgs minus the 230, 40 kgs. And what is the weight of the crate?
The weight of the crate is 49.6 kilograms.
Okay, it's quite a heavy crate, but you know, it has to hold all those heavy cans. So it makes sense.
And
Well
I think it's made
done.
out of wood. That's why. It
Sorry?
looked like it was made out of wood.
Yeah.
the crate. So I think that is why it's so heavy.
And it has to be quite like solid wood because, I mean, 280 kgs is a lot. It has to be
And I
able
don't
to
think,
carry all of that. So it's going to be heavy. We can't just use any light piece of wood or anything. Okay. So we worked out how many crates are in there. We worked out the weight of the crates, but have we answered the question? Aggie stated that an empty shipping crate has a mass of less than 20 kgs. The chat's quite quiet. What do you guys say? And Ben says we haven't finished answering the question. So we need to say, is her statement valid? Is the crate less than 20?
Yes, ma'am. No, sorry. The statement is invalid.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get everything on the same page. We're going to say, therefore, statement is invalid or incorrect. Crate weighs more than 20. Just going to zoom out a little bit more so it's all there for everyone to see. Okay, I have been following that. Some of you have been putting the answers in the chat, so well done. Yes, the statement is in fact invalid. And Emmanuel, absolutely well done. You tackled this 9-mark question all by yourself, and I think you explained it relatively well for everyone. So thank you so much, Emmanuel. I feel like if you had a similar question in your test, you did absolutely amazing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that amazing explanation. Keep it up. Okay, is there anyone? Yeah, shout out to Emmanuel. That was impressive work. Do we all follow? If like, can you all give me a thumbs up if you followed with this question, if you understand what's going on? If not, please let me know if you have a question. Cabo, yes.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm just confused on the height when you get the height, or just working out how many cans in a crate. So if you say 50 divided by 10,8, you get
Yeah.
4,62 whatever. But now, wouldn't you round that up to 5 packs?
That is a brilliant question. Well done. Okay, so you just remind me again, when you did this calculation over here, you got 4,6.
4,624. I mean 6296.
Okay, so we can leave it as 6.3. Okay, so our rounding rules always tell us no, we need to round up because it's a 6. Okay, but now in this instance, we are saying that 4,6, so basically 4.5 crates, packs can fit. But now we can't fit a whole nother pack. Yeah, I can fit half a pack, but I'm not going to get a pack that's only half the size in terms of the height. So here we have to always round down because I can only fit 4 whole packs in the height. Does that make sense?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, pleasure. So good question. When it comes to models, guys, we always round down because I know it says 4,6, but that's not a whole nother pack I can fit in. So there's a little bit more space, but not enough space to fit a whole nother one. So that's why we said only 4 packs can fit in the heights. Okay, that is a very valid question.